screen printers. Welcome to another video tutorial brought to you by LearnHowToScreenPrint.com. My name is Gino, and in today's video we're going to talk about steps that you can take to make sure that you get the proper exposure on your screens. So one of the first things I want to talk about is the exposure time. A lot of new screen printers are afraid of overexposing their screens. They don't want to lose the detail, which can happen if you expose them too long. So they end up not exposing them long enough. If you're washing out the screens and after exposure and you're just losing a ton of emulsion, you're probably not exposing long enough. So something you can do to battle that would be to use a exposure calculator. Visit our website, LearnHowToScreenPrint.com, to get the exposure calculator. This will help you dial in, get the right exposure time. If you're exposing it too long, you're going to lose some of the detail. But if you're just starting out screen printing, you're probably not going to be printing with a lot of halftones. But as I mentioned, if you are printing with a lot of halftones, then just use the exposure calculator. This will help you dial in the right time. That way you can expose your screens the correct amount of time, keep your detail in there, and make sure that the stencil or the screen doesn't break down on the press prematurely. One of the other things is the mesh color. I think yellow mesh is a lot better than the white mesh for the screens. The white mesh, as you're exposing it, the light's bouncing around in the white mesh and kind of throws your exposure off. So with the yellow mesh, you're exposing a lot better. The light isn't bouncing around, so you're able to hold the detail in the halftones in your film. Okay. One of the other things is the proper screen storage. As you can see, we're in a light-sensitive room. We have yellow lights in here in our dark room, and we also have our screens covered. This will make sure that you're not getting a lot of dust in them. If you coat some screens with emulsion and your room's kind of dusty, you'll see the dust show up in your emulsion. This can kind of throw you off, when you go to expose the screen. If you've got a lot of dust particles right in the area where you're going to expose it at, sometimes it can mess up the stencil. One of the other things, you want to make sure that you get your screens nice and clean. We've got a new employee here at the shop at Wichita Screen Printing, and we're training them how to clean screens. Got one here as an example. So as you can see, we have emulsion everywhere except for this little spot here, this little fisheye. So basically the cause of that was he didn't degrease the screen well enough. When you're degreasing the screen, you're removing all the chemicals from the screen mesh. That way, when you coat it with the emulsion, you get a good even coat. But if you don't degrease it correctly, you can end up with fish holes like that. So something to watch out for. Just want to make sure your screens are nice and clean. You want to store them in a cool, dark place. Let's see. One of the other things we want to talk about is the emulsion. When we mix our emulsion, we use a sensitizer. We have a dual cure emulsion here, and that emulsion, once it's mixed, it's good for about 3 to 4 weeks. So we write the date that the emulsion is bad. That way we don't keep coating screens. If there's any emulsion left, when it comes to that date, we just throw that bucket away and grab another. If you keep using the emulsion after that date, your screens are going to break down prematurely. Alright, so let's move on to another one. Adjust the exposure time when you're using different types of mesh. So an example of that would be if you're using a 110 mesh, that mesh is going to hold a lot more emulsion than if you're using a 220 mesh count. So the 110, you're going to have to expose it a little bit longer than the 220, just because the lower mesh count is going to hold more emulsion. So thank you for watching this video tutorial. We hope that you get your screens exposed correctly. For more information and videos, visit our website, LearnHowToScreenPrint.com. Till next time, happy printing.